ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the world of VGamingJunkie news. No dross here, nothing but pure gaming-related meatiness. It's all about the electronic good stuff as we dive deep in all that's new in the various interactive virtual worlds. We'll start out with a slightly outdated news story. Epic Games had implemented a payment method on their mobile versions of Fortnite that bypasses Apple's App Store and Google's Play Store respectively. Fortnite was promptly removed from both stores, and Epic has retaliated with a lawsuit. Epic alleges antitrust, in addition to alleging that Apple has retaliated by cutting off Epic's access to development tools affecting the Unreal Engine. Whether or not they've got a case, I can't say because I'm not a lawyer. However, I will say their case against Google will likely be substantially harder due to Android allowing third-party apps without rooting it. If you were to ask me, that would kind of be like suing Steam for not hosting the PC version of Fortnite. Speaking of ancient news, a teaser for the Doom Eternal DLC called The Ancient Gods was released on the 7th, showing a male voice speaking of the Slayer bringing order to his world. He talks as though he's an ally, but we shall see where this goes. However, I'm sure I'm not the only one that wishes id Software would release modding tools for Doom Eternal already. With the first 3 Dooms being open sourced and Doom 2016 having SnapMap, Doom Eternal is currently the first in the series to not allow for community content of any kind. Now, I can understand how being parented by ZeniMax imposes some restrictions, but Bethesda is owned by the same company and they're able to go nuts with the modding tools for their own games. Here's hoping id can release something, even if it's a modified version of SnapMap. Community content is what kept Doom alive all these years, so id shouldn't move away from that model. Speaking of updates, Ghost of Tsushima will be having a free co-op mode releasing in fall 2020. While I haven't played the game myself, I can appreciate the dedication to feudal Japan throughout its aesthetic and writing. Deathloop is the latest game to be delayed with a projected launch date at 2021 second quarter. For those of you anticipating Deathloop, all I can say is I understand your pain. In some slightly grim news, however, it seems Facebook has added a massive caveat to their Oculus lineup. You'll soon be required to have a Facebook account in order to use them, as Oculus accounts are evaporating in 2023. Due to Facebook's controversies regarding banning users and invading privacy, this is certainly making Oculus headsets substantially less appealing. While VR in general is too rich for my blood, this is certainly very unfortunate and seems certain to drive people to alternative options. Sega has announced its intentions to aggressively pursue porting previous titles to Steam and other such platforms. Primarily PC gamers like me can be excited for that if there were Sega games you were interested in but simply didn't have the console hardware to play it. In the immortal words of Yahtzee in reference to PC ports, it is the basic law of the universe that all matter must eventually gravitate towards a point of maximum sensibleness. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War was also confirmed if you're into that sort of thing. There's nothing wrong with a good war shooter, although I tend to favor retro inspirations like Doom Eternal and Rise of the Triad 2013. Microsoft is also flaunting their new home for Xbox Series X, getting into games quicker and using less memory. For game devs looking to squeeze every last drop of performance out of the thing, this can only be a good thing. Lastly, I'm closing out this week's news with all the games that will release in the following week. By the time this video comes out, 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim should have released today on the PS4, a real-time strategy type game. The 24th sees 3 releases in the form of Little Big Workshop for Xbox One, Serious Sam 4 for PC and Stadia, and Tears of Asia for PC and Xbox One. Naturally, Serious Sam 4 would be the big release that day. I'm currently let's playing through the 3rd release, hint hint, so I'm looking forward to it. The 25th sees Ampersand on the PC and DreamWorks Trollhunters Defenders of Arcadia for all major platforms. In addition, Mafia Definitive Edition releases for PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Stadia. While that excludes the Switch will be getting its own release that day in the form of Zenjin. After that, no more major releases until the 29th with the release of Stronghold Warlords for the PC. Umahara Kawas Bazooka also releases for the PS4 and Switch. Daylight for Stadia, Himig for PC, Second Extinction for PC, and Tennis World Tour 2 also release in September. However, there's no specific release date. This release date information has been brought to you by Games Radar. If you're strapped for cash, Enter the Gungeon and God's Trigger will be free on the Epic Games Store throughout the 27th. And this concludes VGamingJunkie news. I hope you found it informative. I'm always striving to improve the quality of these and will be following a schedule of every Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, you can subscribe and rip and tear that bell icon if you want to keep notified, and a like is always appreciated too. Of course, if you wanted to donate to help me get better technology for this, that would be incredibly helpful too. No pressure though, I just thank you for tuning in with me, capitalize on life, and I'll see you all next time.